Hey there, Chad here. Thanks for joining me. This is Ostranauts, and the time has come for us to cut a hole in the hull to put in the reactor. We're going to install the reactor in this episode and fire it up, see what that looks like. It actually doesn't take long to do once you have all the pieces. And now, in the interest of full disclosure, if you've been watching the last couple of episodes, I've had to do a lot of darting around because there were things I missed, there were pieces I missed. I didn't give myself enough space. The graphic I have for the reactor I last did, I physically have a screenshot of it, simply doesn't work anymore. The pieces are too close together in a couple of places. And so I'm not quite sure how I ever did it before, or things changed, one of the two. But the screenshot I have didn't work. And so, yeah, that was some lost momentum there. But we are ready to go. I think we're in good shape. There's a part of me, I think I'm going to go ahead and turn off the signal box. I was kind of deciding if I wanted to. We're going to be exposed to atmosphere, but only for a few seconds. And so usually it shouldn't be a big deal. Also, one other thing I did notice while I was running around looking for some stuff that I had set down and couldn't find where I'd put it. This ship has this ship we've been kind of pulling from has a tow brace. And that is something I eventually want to get. I don't know that I've ever experienced one in the wild where I realized that's what it was. Now this one looks to be damaged. It's definitely damaged. It's going to need to be repaired, but that'll save us a little bit of money. What the tow brace does is it allows you to connect to a ship and maneuver and drag it places. That is really good if you want to flip ships. You can put it somewhere that's easier to get to. You do have to be a little careful. You don't want it drifting and slamming into an asteroid or a planet or anything like that, but that gives you some options. So that's something we're going to grab. And I think I'm going to, let's go ahead and get started with the important thing here, and that is the reactor. And that might mean I completely forget that the tow brace is there before we're done. But we are going to need to cut a hole in the floor. The first step for installing a reactor is you have to have a hole in the floor. You just have one square, just one little square. We're going to remove this square right here, and he'll uninstall that. And I kind of want to be ready so we can spend as little time exposed to atmosphere as possible. He's already done cutting that hole in the floor. He's very efficient at that. And then we're going to immediately install the reactor right on top of that. That's the center of it. These are the field coils. It will grab both of those completely on its own. You just install one of them. It does the rest of the work for you. It stacks them, and now he's installing them. And as you can see, now he's good at his job, right? But it's not a terribly lengthy process. It's done. We are no longer, you'll notice the temperature is starting to come up. Oxygen is back to normal. We're good. He could take his helmet off. I think we'll hold off for now just in case something dumb happens. You'd be surprised how many times I've done something dumb, particularly in the last 2 or 3 episodes. Let's just say this isn't my first attempt at this because I keep missing things, and that's been a little frustrating. And I just want to get this over with because this is a lot of fun. The reactor is literally my favorite thing in video games, I think. And you'll see why if you've never seen it before. I think it's a very cool implementation how they did this. Now, real quick, I'm going to take Lee in. She's going to have a job too. She's going to put in some of these big tanks. We're going to have her start with this one. So I'm going to have her wander over here. She's going to install the HE3 tank. And let's pause for a second. I'm going to jump back over to Chad. He's going to start. So the field coils are in. Next is the actual reactor core. That is these 4 pieces. They literally just get set right on top of this. And in fact, it's a lot easier. I've got them all pretty matching up here. You don't have to do that. They actually will stack, I believe, in a lot of cases. But what he's going to do is he's going to right click on one and say install. And you'll notice that he gets a weird interface. It's actually the picture of the reactor once it's complete, as opposed to each of those individual pieces. Once again, he will go and pick those up on his own. You just place it once, and then it does it. Now, as we look at that, you'll notice there's 3 special markings there. There's the feet, which show us where it is interacted with. I'm going to want those to be, on the top here. I hope I didn't hit something dumb there. I didn't think I hit space, but nonetheless, I thought I was just hitting rotate. Nonetheless, here we go. That's how I'm going to want it to look, but of course over here. But then also you'll notice the two power marks. One is for power in, and you'll notice there's an arrow pointing in, and one is for power out. That's because the reactor will connect to your electrical system and charge your batteries. And I hit bash. We definitely want to cancel that. So it's a good thing I was paying attention. You bash the reactor core. No, we do not bash the reactor core. So instead, we're going to install the reactor core and rotate. Yeah, I hit 4 right next to the R key. That's what I did. And we're going to... Didn't I say I keep doing this over and over and stupid things keep happening? It's things like that, folks. That's what's been going on while I've been trying to do this. So we're going to drop that right there, and he's going to get going on that. Then we're going to jump over to Leon, and we're going to have her grab this, and she's going to install this one right here. That'll give her something to do. She's actually very slow at this part of the job. And so he will certainly get it done a little faster. You know what? We could speed him up too. He's using a screwdriver right now. I forgot about that. Let's have him finish this, and then we'll go swap out his tool set. And there we go. Okay, slow him back down. I'm going to have him come over here. Oh, that's Leon. Dang it. We're going to have her resume her task. Leon, come back over here and resume. I don't know why it is acting this peculiar. I guess it doesn't help that I'm doing silly things. There we go. We're on Chad now. So we're going to say battery charger inventory. Open his inventory. And this, 1% left. We're going to want to inventory that. Swap these batteries. And there we go. Now he has a handy dandy drill that is fully charged. So the core of the reactor is in place now. And if we went to try to use it, nothing would happen because it doesn't have power. And if it had power, it would start up, but most of the functionality wouldn't happen. So we're just going to go ahead and build the whole reactor right now. The reactor requires, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces. I think that's right. It requires 7, and you can install duplicates of a couple of things. I'm not entirely sure why you might want to do that. And we'll hold off at least initially so you can see what the minimum setup is of all the stuff you need. But we're going to start. There's no required order to this. We're going to start with the fuel regulator. It's effectively the largest piece that has to get installed. And I'm going to tell it to install it. And you see the nuclear sign there? Well, that has to sit on one of these nodes. There's 12 nodes around the reactor, 3 on each side. There's also corners. We'll come back to those in a second. Well, we've kind of already talked about them. One is the monitor where you interface with the reactor, and the other two are power in and power out. There's nothing special about that corner. So we're going to put the reactor so that it is on one of these nodes, and I'm going to put it on this one here, and there it goes. He's going to go, and I'm sorry, the fuel regulator. I said reactor. He's going to put it on a reactor node, and he'll start to install that, and this will go fairly quickly for him. She's still working on that. She's got another couple of tanks to install. Okay, she's done. They're both done. We're going to have her install the deuterium tank. I think that's how you say it. We're going to have her pick it up, start dragging it over that way. We're going to have her install it. Slow down. Right about... So you notice the slashes, right? The slash lines means we can't put it there. We can put it right here, and that's as close as we can get those together. We're going to go ahead and do that, and you'll notice it's going to be against a wall. It just needs to have 2 floor spaces entirely around it, wall or otherwise. Okay, so he's done with this one. Next up, let's put in, you know what? We're going to go with the pellet feeder next. This is a pellet feeder, and we're going to install that. So number 2, and I'm going to basically just slide it right in next to that fuel. Oh, he's in a bad spot. There he goes. And then he'll go do that. Just going to put it next to the fuel regulator. The pellet feeder, my assumption is, kind of feeds the nuclear-powered the pellets basically into the reactor so that it can execute its job. We'll go ahead and put that in, and we can speed that up a little bit. She's doing just fine on her tank. He usually finishes this before she does. At least that's been my experience. Next up, we're going to put in a laser array. So the first build I ever did, I was told to use 2 pellet feeders and 2 laser arrays. We're only going to use one of each this time, but I have a second one of each. I've got a pellet feeder over right here and a second laser array here, and we'll put those in eventually. But for now, just to demonstrate the minimum requirement, we're going to put the laser array there. And again, you just need to put it on a node. It doesn't have to be a specific node. They don't have to be next to each other, nothing like that. Just each part has to be present. And one of the lessons I learned is you have to remember that the tanks are a part of the process. If the tank isn't installed, it no worky. And so that is something to remember. Okay, he's done there. Next up, let's see. We got a couple of more big things that need to go in. Let's start with, let's go with, you know what? Let's put this guy in. This is not the light, but the core pump. He's relatively small, actually. We're going to turn him around and put him right there. And this is why I usually prefer a little more room. I like to, if I had one more square in every direction, which I guess I kind of will because I think we're going to move this wall eventually. So I'll at least have it in one direction. I like to put racks all the way around it, and then that becomes sort of what this room is, and it's all kind of contained at that point. What we're going to do instead is we're going to do our best not to use these nodes, so we leave most of this space free. We're going to put a tank here, but beyond that, we should be in pretty good shape. And is she done up there? She is done as well. Let's get her started on her last part. She is going to install the cryo tank right here. There she goes. Is she going to need help? Yeah, she wants to stop too. I don't know why they're doing that. Okay, he is going to need to come in here. He's got 2 more big parts in here. First is this MHD generator. He needs to pick that up and bring it right over here. And then we're going to install this. And I'm going to put this right here on this corner. No, I'm not. I'm going to put this right here on this corner. We're going to try to leave. Uh-oh. Come on over. Oh, I had it paused. I'm hoping that's what was going on there. So rotate once. Why won't it install there? Okay, we might come back to that. I'm not sure why it doesn't want to let me do that. Oh, because that's not the node. This is not a node. This is power. This is power. My apologies there. That's what I was doing wrong. I want to put it right there. There it goes. Okay, makes much more sense now. And then something else I'm going to do while they're both working this time, we're going to do an install power conduit so I don't forget. We're going to literally just, come on now, put in conduit here to here. And here to here. That'll connect the in and the out. And then one other thing I want to do while I'm thinking about it is we have basically this whole wall. We're going to want to put conduit in. And this whole wall, we're going to want to put conduit in. I think we'll probably have enough for that. Once they're done with their current jobs, I'll assign her to do all the conduit work while he's still putting the rest of this together. Okay, so far so good. Speeding things up. And he's done. Okay, he also needs to come get this cryo pump. And he's going to pick that up and wander over here with it. And this time I'll put it on the right spot. We're going to install it and we're going to rotate it to here. So you kind of see I'm kind of putting these in a way that we're maximizing our space use. And I think she's done at this point. Is she done? She's done. It's good. So we're going to tell her to auto task, and that should have her go and start doing conduit. There she goes. Thank you much. And we'll switch back to Chad. And I think we only have one part left to go, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we have this laser capacitor is the last piece to put in. It is also rather large. We're going to slow down and we're going to install this. And I'm going to put it, now, again, this right here where the R is right now is not a node. I guess my arrow would be better. Right here, that is not a node, that is electrical. I'm going to connect it to this node right here. So it's going to go boom right there. There we go. He's installing that. And we're done. Where did she go? Okay. I guess she's looking for stuff. I'm not quite sure what. She's going to install the conduit from the outside. Okay, well, I mean, it's part of the reason I had him put the suits on and I made sure the batteries were all good. We'll have him auto task too, and hopefully he'll get some. I really don't know what that is that they're doing. Delivering conduit parts one at a time. Why? For the love of God, why are you doing that? Okay, we're going to do this. We're going to have him come and pick up. No. No, don't cut the crate open. What are you doing? I'm having a bad day here with clicking things. Oh my God, he destroyed it. He did. Yeah, that was a screw up. Did he take the stuff out of it? He didn't. Okay, well. Yeah, I'm having a bad day with clicking things today, folks. That's disappointing. Well, what we can do is come in here and there's still plenty of conduit in this ship. We'll just have to deal with that. And slight delay here. Sorry about that. Go ahead and grab all the conduit we can. Just like that. Get going, pal. Yeah, that's about how, well, 2026 is ending how 2025, or starting how 2025 ended for me, I guess. I don't know. And that's a little better. I guess they found enough conduit, but yeah, that's disappointing. I can't believe I did that. Well, the good news is all of these are empty, so it's not like there's a huge loss here other than I'm just conduit. I mean, it looks like junk, right? Conduit, sensors, switches. I don't know. We'll have to figure out what it... Oh, is this... Okay, this is probably the backpack that had all the conduit in it. That's what's going on there. Okay, that makes some sense. There wasn't a lot in there. There was probably one switch, and then this is the rubble from what he just did. And yeah, okay, that makes a little bit more sense to me now. And okay, so this one right here is going to be trouble. And that's on me. The problem here is you can't get to this right now. I should have put in the conduit first. I didn't think to do that. So we're going to uninstall the generator. And then, or one of them gonna, can you not get there? Here we go. The conduit is in. Now he's repairing the conduit. Okay, we'll give him a second. Okay, he's done there. And now we will reinstall this. Boy, oh boy, this should have been so much simpler, shouldn't it? I did everything I could to make it as hard as possible, folks. There we go. Now he'll install that, and then we're going to fire this baby up. She's probably still out there tearing up conduit, which is great. Maybe she finds something else to do. You know what? I'm going to mark for uninstall the toe brace. Yeah. And just let her get on with that as time permits. Okay, so he is now done. We're going to have him come back over. Oh, now he's trapped. Are you kidding me? He trapped himself. I have to say I haven't had that happen in a really, really long time. Holy cats. All right. So pick that up and then walk over this way and now install it. Right there. Much better. There he goes. Okay. Boy, that was way more painful than it needed to be. Now we're going to come up here and we're going to hit the control panel. And if everything is how it's supposed to be, this is the beautiful control panel. And I love this. I think this is one of the greatest things in video games I've seen because it's functional. It actually, there are things to do and things to pay attention to on this. And you don't have to monitor it constantly, but it's important. You first have to turn it on. But the good thing, the news is there's literally a checklist right here. And once you know what they mean, then you know how to do it. So we're just going to go through the checklist one time. And the first thing we're going to do is turn it on to battery power, and it fired up. Look at that. Now, if you're missing pieces, some of these lights won't be present. So if we didn't have cryo fuel or the cryo pump, this light wouldn't even be present. It isn't that it would be red. It simply wouldn't be on. Okay, so first up, the core purge. Well, that was the power up the bus. We're good there. Next up is the core purge. We're going to come over to this knob, and we're going to turn it to rough for now. Third is the laser capacitor, and it is good. Its light is ready here. I don't think there's anything to do. You don't click anything. It just needs to be in good shape, and then that's green. Next up is laser alignment. We're going to flip the switch. The laser is aligned. Next, we're going to turn on the pellet feeder. That's right here. It is ready. It's taking a minute. Come on, I know you're going to do it. I don't know why it's not doing it. We're going to move on. We're going to go down to cryo. I guess we can turn it off. Well, it says it's ready here. I don't know why this is red. We're going to go to cryo. We're going to turn on cryo. And it is good. It has no temperature yet, but that will start to light up once we get going with things. Fuel regulators. Okay, so this is the fuel regulator button is right here. We're going to click that. It is ready. Next is the fuel coils. There's a forward and a rear coil. If you recall, it was in two parts. We've got those on. Next is the MHD generator. Right there, it's on. And finally, it's time to light the torch. Start the engine. We're going to click that. And there it goes. It is running. This is the amount of fuel we have for it. This is the HE, this is the helium, and this is the deuterium. We have plenty. This is a lot of fuel, and this is how much it's burning right now. It's burning a lot. Now you'll notice it says it's running rough. This is your meter to tell you how well it is doing its job. And pardon me, real quick, I do want to jump out here. Want to just briefly look at our batteries. So you'll see that they are low, but the arrow indicates that they're moving upward. That's a good thing. That's because the reactor is slowly going to charge them. And then there's a couple more things we can do there to make that more efficient. The first thing we're going to do is we want to get this to run in this range here. And to do that, first we're going to try turning this here. And if that doesn't do it, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. We're going to turn it off. And by turning it off, you'll notice this started to move up. And it's running more smoothly. And this number is coming way down. It's using less fuel. Less fuel, less fuel. And this is going to bottom out really, really low. I think it's like 140, something like that, where it'll stop. Lower than that. Still going. So it's basically sipping fuel at this point. I'm going to speed things up. There we go. There we go. Okay, 4.8 and 3.24. That is what it is using right now. Now, this is our torch drive as well. You'll notice there's thruster, things like this. We don't want to mess with any of that just yet. Right now, we just have it charging our batteries. So I'm going to flip that over there. And I think if we come out here, so the laser capacitor is ready. I'm not sure why this turns red. I'll need to check on that. I don't remember it really being a big problem in the past. Yeah, if we were to increase flow or decrease flow, you'll notice this will jump around. It's the amount of power you're generating, basically. We don't need a whole lot right now. So I'm going to come out here, and where are we on batteries? And now, well, it's about the same. You'll see that, but it will slowly start going up. Now we can also, let's come over here and turn on the nav system. Incidentally, you want to turn the reactor off when you are close to the space station. There's supposed to be a no reactor zone. I don't know if it's enforceable or what, where the status of things are, but I guess it's considered polite to do that. Okay, so we've turned on our nav station. If we look in the nav station, a lot of the controls for the reactor are also in the nav station. They're just not quite as obvious, but here's that flow. Here's the cycle. Those all have specific meanings for when we're using the torch drive. You have navigation for the torch drive right here, but you'll notice we also have the activate, which was on the other screen. We can hit shutdown to turn it off. And we have 10 hours of reactant fuel remaining. I think that is our RCS, though. I think that's what that's talking about. Let's see. We're in a no wake zone. Yeah, that's important. We're not supposed to, we need to be extra careful there. I feel like there was one other thing that you can kind of see from here that you can mess with. Yeah, because we're close to a ship, I think well, maybe that's not it. I don't know. I can't quite recall what the instructions tell you you're supposed to be doing with those switches. Nonetheless, that's where we stand. We can leave that running as long as we want. It'll just do its thing, and we will be good to go. Okay, I could hit shutdown here. I'm not going to do that, but you would see it would kill it. Well, I guess we can. Why not? We'll hit shutdown. That might just shut down the torch drive, come to think of it. It might not shut down the reactor, although I am seeing this starting to fall off. I know what I wanted to notice was the power here and which direction it was going. Let's come back over here and see if that actually killed the entire engine. I think it did. It did. So we will fire it back up. I think I broke it. There we go. Okay, and so it's a matter of starting that. And then laser capacitor is still waiting for the core purge to come up. We can continue on though. We'll do the laser alignment, pellet feeder, cryo, fuel regulator, field coils, MHD, ignition. And there we go. And then once again, we will kill the purge, and that will theoretically drop these down, climb that up, and it will all be good to go. Okay, so there you have it. That is the reactor. Hope this was helpful with getting you at least that far. We will use the torch drive in the very near future. I think what I would like to do is take a little break at this point. I wanted to get to this point. A lot of you were asking to see how a reactor gets done. And I'm glad that I have been able to finally get all the pieces and, be in a spot where it made sense to get that done. So here we are with that. The reactor is installed. I might go ahead and take my own sweet time and clean up the rest of the ship. And then we'll come back and we'll make a trip to Venus. That's what I kind of think I would like to do. So it might be significantly different. I'm not going to like completely rebuild it or anything. This will probably stay the same. This will move around a little because we're going to have a little hallway here. And I really want to figure out how I want to make this work. I just haven't yet. That's bothering me. I'd like to know what I'm thinking there. And it's, yeah, I just haven't gotten that far yet. So I think that's what I'll do. And gonna also, I might on my own time and pace finish taking all the stuff out of this ship that I'd like to take out of it. And that's going to be a couple of hours, and nobody wants to sit there and watch me just picking up floor tiles, I don't think. So I'm going to skip that, leave that out of the video series, but we will have some more content in the very, very near future. I want to thank you for joining me on this. Please consider like and subscribe. The subscribe does help me out. There's no obligation, of course, and I try not to be too pestery or anything like that. I think it might notify you when I put up a poll or things like that. But beyond that, I want to thank you for your time this time, and until next time, fair travels.